welcome back to the Howler podcast. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Mary.
And we are here for our November episode. Like a broken record. I can't believe it's almost 2026.
It really is.
I can't talk about it, actually.
It's okay. We don't have to.
Because I'm like, where did 2025 go? Did I achieve my goals? I don't know. I feel like I blinked and it was gone.
That is how I feel about this year as well. But I think, okay, you don't have to think about it today, but maybe in December we can do a little reflection because I'm sure even though you blinked and where did the time go, that you've made meaningful progress and grown.
I hope so.
Areas that you've wanted to. You have, for sure, no doubt. Okay, but it is November when people are listening to this, and in the US we celebrate Thanksgiving. I have a lot of topics in my head, so we're just gonna this is gonna be the Chelsea intro. What's something you're thankful for?
Oh no. Well, for those listening, I'm a little under the weather. I've got tea, I've got cough drops. So right now I'm just really thankful for my general health. Because I'm not feeling 100%. And so then it just makes you really realize how you have nothing without your health. And I'm always trying to remember when I don't want to work out or I don't want to do this or that there are people that would be so grateful to be able to move their bodies or do X, Y, Z. So I'm grateful for that. Really wishing I was feeling 100% right now. And I just got back from a bunch of travel, which is probably why I'm sick. I got to visit our new office in Kitchener-Waterloo. I got to visit our Utah office for the first time. So I'm just really grateful to Arctic Wolf for giving me those opportunities, and Mary and Trisha and the HR team for letting me go. And it's just always so great getting to meet people in person that you've been slacking with for 3 years.
Yeah, totally. Okay, tell us for listeners, give them a little peek into the new Canada office. If you're not part of the pack, we just opened a new office in Canada. We already had one there. So I should say everybody moved to this new office. Give us some cliff notes, some highlights, some surprises.
Okay, well, of course it's gorgeous because it's brand new. So new paint, new carpet, new everything. It's 3 floors, just like our office was, our previous office, but it's set up very differently and we're kind of in 2 different buildings and there's a skyway connecting them. For those of you in Minnesota, we have our skyway downtown. And so they have a little hallway that connects the 2 buildings, which is nice. So you don't have to go outside.
I love that.
Yes. And the cafe, so the large gathering space is so big. Apparently, according to facilities, it's the exact same size as the cafe in Minnesota, but it feels a lot bigger. I was talking to Ben Fries, who, shout out to Ben. He was the project manager on this whole project. He said that it's almost the exact same square footage, but because the ceilings are taller and the Canada office is longer, where ours is kind of shorter and wider depth wise, theirs just feels so much bigger. And they have this gorgeous mural, which I didn't know about the mural. Did you know about the mural?
I don't think I've seen pictures of said mural. Give us a
okay. Yes, they had in their cafe space, which is again the main big gathering space, they had a local artist do this really beautiful mural. And of course there's wolves in it, but then there's elements that are really specific to Kitchener-Waterloo, where the office is located. So it's it has the famous bell tower that I think is in Kitchener. Don't quote me. And different elements, I think there's a nod to St. Jacob's Market and just some of the local things. So, and it's super colorful, which is really fun because obviously our office is colorful in the blues, oranges, but it's all different colors. So it's really fun when you walk in and it takes up a whole big wall. So that was a surprise for me because I didn't know that was going to be there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the pictures look stunning and I'm so excited for that crew up there. I feel huge upgrades. So I'm glad you got to see it in person. Okay, we need to know, I feel there's so many things we could say about the Utah pack as well, but I feel the podcast listeners might find it really intriguing to find your new identity post
Mm.
visit to the Utah office. And then
Yeah,
just get
yeah,
some spark notes like, well, I have some more questions. So start with that and then I have some follow-ups.
yeah. So our Utah office is just such a fun crew. And for the second year in a row, they have been doing Harry Potter in the office. And what that entails is, well, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
But all of our pack members in that office get sorted into one of the four houses. I did do the sorting hat because they like bought the sorting hat that, does the little lines from the book movie. But I am I am a Ravenclaw to my core. It's who I've always been since Pottermore first came out, like a decade ago, 50, I don't know how long it's been. I'm a Ravenclaw. So thankfully, the team, even though the sorting hat didn't sort me into Ravenclaw, they let me just be a Ravenclaw. So
Which
go
is
Ravenclaw.
honestly a huge privilege because I don't think anybody else gets to put themselves in their house.
Their house.
Yeah. So Chelsea, that's how well you're loved because they were
Well,
like, okay, fine, you can be, we'll let you choose.
yeah. Well, and I think it worked out because it was like, oh, we have Ravenclaw t-shirts left. That works out.
So they were
So
like, great,
yeah,
we can accommodate you. Okay, well, we need to know. I mean, there's like a million things we could share about the details of how amazing this activity is, but I feel like I personally really want to know about the escape room. So I feel
Mm,
like that's what the podcast listeners will get to learn about today too.
okay. So yes, there's all sorts of different elements. It's like a 4 week long thing that they do in their office. Each week there's different activities. Like the week I was there was trivia week, which was really fun. But yes, they turned a whole conference room into an escape room. And I wish I could visually show you all what this escape room looked like, but I was so impressed. I couldn't believe it. And it was all just pack members who had like brought in their bookcases and their like fake fireplace and their bed and all these things to like make this escape room. And apparently they found the escape room online. So like the hardest part
Okay.
was done. They just had to like follow the instructions. But
Okay.
when I tell you that escape room is the hardest escape room I've ever done, and I'm not like a huge escape room person, but I usually do a few every year with friends or through work or something.
You know Harry Potter, right? Like you've read all the books.
Yes, yes. I know Harry Potter, but I will say going to Utah made me realize like I know Harry Potter, but I don't know Harry Potter like some of those people know Harry Potter. Like I love the books and I reread them every few years, but I just don't have it in my brain to like memorize those small details. And people really go into the backstories of like all these different side tertiary characters where I'm just like, I'm just here for the fun, like, but anyway, you didn't really need to know Harry Potter that much to do the escape room. Like, it definitely helped, but you could have figured out some of it maybe without knowing the books too well. But we didn't escape in an hour, unfortunately. It was very hard. But yeah, they did it since it was set up in one of our conference rooms. They just put on a Zoom meeting. So it was recording the whole time so that you could like watch it back and laugh at yourself.
Okay, that is so clever.
Well, yeah, it was just so cool.
And that office really is just shout out to the Utah pack. I mean, the whole pack is special.
Yeah.
The Utah pack, they're so creative and sweet and a really, really cool community there. Okay, I do feel like we also need just to highlight Amplify.
Oh wow, we're really just booming it.
Yeah, I still have more. So I'm just, to keep moving along. I feel like the podcast guests need
Okay.
to know about Amplify. Tell us about it and like one highlight.
Okay, so Amplify is a series that started here in Minnesota 4 years ago. 4 years ago. And here in Minnesota, the goal and the vision is to connect, sustain, and elevate Black tech professionals in the Twin Cities area. And we've been doing that event again for the last 4 years. And this year we had Tiffany Daniels come speak, and she's amazing. If you are able to find any sort of speech or anything of Tiffany Daniels online, you need to watch it.
Yeah,
Um,
fire for sure.
so we did that in Minnesota in September. And then for the second year in a row, we've also hosted Amplify for Hispanic and Latino tech professionals. Um, actually, no, this is the second.
Second.
Second year. So last year we did it in the San Antonio office. And then this year, no, this is our third year.
I don't think so, but I could be wrong. Either way.
Because didn't we do it in San Antonio? And then last year we did it with Tech Moms in Utah. And then we did it again this year.
Oh, I forgot about I don't remember an event happening in San Antonio though.
But we've lost the lore a little bit, but we have hosted this event, I think, yeah, for the second, well, we know the second year in Utah. And I was able to be in Utah for it. And we had some local Hispanic tech leaders come in and we did a panel. And there was all sorts of like we had a fun networking game going on and the most delicious tacos, just like street tacos, and
Yeah.
like horchata and something else. Everything was so good. And it was just like a lovely evening of networking and connecting. And it was so nice to meet Utah Pack. But shout out to our Lobos leaders who led that event because it's no easy feat getting all of the community partners involved, the panelists, the food, coordinating the event flow and the space. It's one of our smaller offices, so even trying to like make the room work for so many people, they had to get really creative. And again, it was so great to see, even outside of those leaders, so many of the Utah Pack members were volunteering to help set up, volunteered during the event to greet people.
Hmm.
They stayed late to help break down the event. Like
Yeah,
when
like
I showed up at the scheduled time for the event setup, the room was already set up because they had people that were just like, "Oh, we can just do it now." So
yeah,
it's
that
just
office
so
is
great.
truly a special community. Shout out Utah. We think you're great. Last but not least, I have a story.
Okay, great. Well, and also if you could weave into your story what you're grateful for. We just skipped over. I just answered and then you didn't answer.
Okay, I'll try to weave it into my story. We'll see how that goes. I
Okay.
just thought, okay, well, firstly, today on the podcast, we have Will Briggs. He's our Senior Vice President of Channel Sales. Will brings over a decade of experience in technology and security sales with a focus on strategic channel program development, distribution, and partner relationships and profitability. He leads our go to market alignment and operational efficiencies within our EMEA and ANZ channel efforts. He also has responsibility for the channel strategy, vision, and execution of the Arctic Wolf Partner Program globally. Will oversaw Arctic Wolf's transition to a 100% channel go to market strategy, and along with his dedicated channel sales and marketing team, will launch the Arctic Wolf Partner Portal and the Arctic Wolf On Demand Training Program. Prior to Arctic Wolf, Will specialized in growing the channel business with top partners at Code 42, Dell, EMC, and Compellent Technologies. So that is Will's bio. But another thing about Will is he is like our go to howler, if you will. Not howler as in podcast fan. But if you didn't know, if you're not part of the pack, we literally howl around here. And I feel like whenever we need someone to close out a meeting strong, Will Briggs is called to the floor. So I thought it could be fun to um, tell a story of how I first came to experience the howl as a precursor
Okay.
to this conversation. Okay, so basically, when I joined Arctic Wolf, Kristen Dean, our chief HR officer, she sent me an email, and the subject line said HOWLLL with a bunch of exclamation points, howl. And then she wrote me a nice little note about joining, and then she signed her note P.S. We howl around here a lot. Smiley face. And I remember getting that email and thinking to myself, like, is so cute. That is so clever. Like, they're the Arctic Wolf, Wolf Pack, they howl. And I did not think she meant that literally. I thought it was just kind of a colloquial, like a little saying, like we howl, we're the Arctic Wolf Pack. Fast forward to my first week at Arctic Wolf. I'm in an all company, all hands, and there's like, 500 of us at the time, all on a Zoom because it's 2020, so it's COVID. And our CEO at the time was our co founder, Brian Smith. Check out podcast episode number 1 if you want to get to know him better. He's great. But he was just chatting away in this all hands meeting and he was sharing an update and he said, I think that deserves a howl. three, two, one. And everybody unmutes, like literally without no pauses, no delays, just all the screens go off mute and the whole Zoom meeting erupts in people howling. Meanwhile, I am just sitting there like at home being like, this is so awkward. I cannot believe he meant literally. This is so weird. I've never held in my life. I don't know what to do. So that is how I first learned the howl. And then one of my first projects was designing our onboarding program. So of course, if
Mm.
you joined Arctic Wolf since 2020, you know that we howl in pack prep, which is onboarding, and it's a fun finale to being done with onboarding, but it also helps people fully get on board with this unique, quirky part of our culture. But
Mhm.
actually, 5 years later, it's been really cool to see how the howl sticks and unites us across all of our offices and cultures. It's kind of quirky, weird, but once you do it one time, you're like, ah, it's not so
Mhm.
bad.
Mhm.
So, what did you know we howled? Like, how did you first realize, like, oh, this is a thing that we're doing? This is happening.
I'm sure I can't remember if it's in our comms, like in our comms leading up to the first day, but probably on the I don't think anyone told me we howled.
Well, the time you started, we would have had the email that was like, so basically, that email from Kristen is what inspired our new hire comms now. And they all start with, Howl, welcome to the pack. And then they end with, P.S. We howl around here a lot. So we hint at it.
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't seem to be as like traumatized. Like the moment that we were like, we're howling wasn't so, oh my
No.
God, this is happening. You were just like, we're doing it.
Yeah. I'm a theater kid, so I mean that's nothing to me. I'm like, okay, sure.
You're like, sure, okay.
Sure,
I'm
sounds
in.
good. I also like my career before this was like standing on fields and courts in front of like 20,000 people. So it doesn't really like
Phase.
make me nervous, but I also had friends working here before I started, so I think I did know that we howled. I can't really remember to be honest, but it definitely didn't phase me. I was like, okay, let's do it.
Okay. Well, speaking of let's do it, let's
Yeah,
get to know Will Briggs a little bit better.
let's do it. All right, welcome to the podcast, Will. We are so excited to have you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. I've heard about this podcast, The Howler. I've participated in many times, but this is the first time that I've been invited by you and
Hmm.
Mary. So thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Of
thanks for
course.
being here. We're excited. I'm excited for the pack to get to know you better. I mean, part of the whole thing with the podcast is back in the day we all knew each other, but now we have employees all over the world and they know, we know each other's names, but we don't know each other the way like you used to run into someone every single day in the break room. So I think this will be fun for our global pack to get to know you better. And I'm excited as well.
We're
Hmm.
all going to become really good friends in the next few minutes here.
Yes, let's go.
So, if you listen to the podcast, you know we like to ease into it with a fun little conversation at the beginning. And Mary and I were chatting, like, what do we want to talk to Will about? And we felt like there was only one thing that we could talk to you about. Do you have a guess what we might want to chat about?
I, I have a feeling what I know what's coming, but I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Oh, now I want to talk about whatever that is.
yeah. What do you think it is?
Well, I think, I've been at Arctic Wolf a while here, and some people have coined me with creating the howl. Is it related to that? Yeah, okay.
Ding.
I cannot believe it. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if it was my idea way back in the day, but
Well, okay, so
Well, let's set the record straight. Wolves created howling in general. You didn't create howling, but maybe you did create howling at Arctic Wolf.
yes, that is correct. That is factually
We
correct.
don't want the like National Wolves Society on us or something.
Yeah,
Oh.
the quick story on that.
yes, tell us.
Many years ago, and I think this was when the office was still in Sunnyvale. And it was a small office in Sunnyvale, maybe the size of a Starbucks or a Chipotle or something like that. And we were doing QBR. Sales and marketing was doing QBR reviews, there was an individual that did a very good QBR, and I just happened to howl after it, like, "Oh, good job!" And the rest is history. I think at the time it would have been, Brian Nesmith, who's chairman of our board now, Nick Schneider, Lane Roush would have been there, Sam McLean would have been there, and maybe a few other people's. But that's the first time I remember howling, and it's a great. I love the howl, right? And it's a great team building. It's great when we complete a goal or win, right? To give a howl in celebration, and it's been great how we have such a good culture here at Arctic Wolf and community, and how every new wolf or member of the wolf pack has embraced the howl at some point. So
well, okay, Will, we need to take it back. You're going too fast in this story for me. So you just like spontaneously embrace your wolf identity and howl in this QBR, and then everybody is just like business as usual, or is there like kind of a big reaction? Like,
I think people at first were like, "What was that?" I'm like, "Hey, we're Arctic Wolf Networks. We can't howl, right? Give me a howl over here." It is. I do remember the location of it. I do remember that it was a big team meeting at the time. I do remember a few individuals kind of laughing when I did it, and then it kind of grew from there. The reason for it was a cheer, a celebration, and why the howl is just the fact that what we were, our company name is Arctic Wolf Networks.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when Chelsea and I were like brainstorming like what we wanted to do for the intro, we were talking about how whenever Kristen needs someone to end a company meeting, it's always like, "Where's Will? Will, get up here and lead the howl." So we wanted to, that was exactly, I didn't know it was you that it originated from. So I'm glad we just wanted to know, like, how did you become like the official mascot / official howler for Arctic Wolf?
Well, I've always been animated my entire life. And this goes back to, my days growing up and my childhood. And then, my first time of being very animated was in college when I tried out and became a D1 athlete. And I was the D1 mascot for the University of Kansas, the Kansas Jayhawks, and I was Big J.
Okay.
And, once you put on the suit, you can do whatever you want there, right? You can jump around, you can be animated, you can go down Allen Fieldhouse stairs, you can try to pie the Texas Red Raider, you can dress up as the Missouri Tiger, as a plant. So I've always loved dressing up in mascot costumes, I guess you would say.
Wow.
And, every good organization, company has to have their own culture or their own mascot, if you will, or their own uniqueness. And I think that's kind of what's cool about Arctic Wolf here is that we embrace the howl.
Yeah. Well, I will admit, like, I do think there's a little bit of magic in it, in that, like, it is cool to see all these years later how that quirky little random thing that we all do really unites everybody around the world.
I would concur for sure, Mary. And it, at the organization as long as I have, in 9+ years, and the fact that it's still going, you can have long celebratory howls, you can have short howls, you can have one-clap howls, you can write howls and emails, which I do to this day. To this day, all the time when I'm celebrating, our team members, our acquisition team members, our channel team members, or a win with a partner, the howl goes a long way. And out in the field too, like, partners want to see us howl, the Arctic howl. They still see like, hey, give us a howl from the Arctic Wolf team members, and it's pretty cool to see how it's grown not only inside of our organization, but to our partner community and our ecosystem and alliance partners and even our customers as well.
Can you give us like, are you willing to give the audience a couple examples of like the one clap howl versus just like an everyday howl versus like big celebration howl?
Yeah.
No, I mean literally a demo.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. I'll start with. So the one clap howl started when there was a lot of congratulations, a lot of celebrations, a lot of wins, a lot of promotions, a lot of people like. I think it actually started during sales and marketing QBR when there was a lot of like wins we had and just a one clap howl. All right, everybody, let's give a one clap howl. So it's like quick, right? It's like a, and then there's the long howl, which is, and then you could be like, you could be walking in the Minneapolis office or another office, and you could pass somebody that to give a job, maybe a fist pump and a like that.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
That one is the less common one. That is the least common. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Howl over there.
Wow. Okay, we need to take this clip because we have all of our new hires howl in onboarding, and sometimes we do get questions of like, how do you howl? What's the howl? So I feel like we could just take this little clip and be like, here are different examples of ways you could howl here at Arctic Wolf.
Yeah, and from the founder, the originator of the howl. Okay, this is amazing. Wait, okay, I feel like this will be a good...
I am not saying I am the originator of the howl. People have coined me as that.
Okay.
Clarify that. I want to take it away from anybody else that might think they were.
Okay. Good
fair.
disclaimer.
I feel this would be a good segue to, what did you want to be when you grew up? How did we get to where we are today? But before we do that, because you said you were really animated when you were a kid, all the way to when you were a kid, like what's like a classic Will story that like your parents always say, like, oh my gosh, when Will was 3 and he first started talking, he said this crazy thing one time at brunch. Or you told your teacher something crazy at school, or like when did this animated Will first appearance on the scene of life?
I think graduating elementary school and going into middle school, there was a series of movies that were very animated and outside the box. Austin Powers being one of them, and Zoolander being another that were just like goofy. And I really liked the movies. I guess they were really good movies, but like I think I really grew into like doing fun stuff like in high school. But and I'd have to think of a story here that
no worries. I just didn't know if there was like this like classic like story from you like being animated as a child that you're like that's kind of like folklore in the family.
I mean, I was always the funny guy. I always did April Fool's jokes when it was April Fool's Days. That was one of my favorite days. There was this one time that I had a how do I describe it? I had put whipped cream on the top of my mom and dad's door on a plate.
Oh no.
So on top of it, so the door's cracked open, right? They go into the door and then the whipped cream fell on their head. I like little pranks like that, like I would do all the time. Yeah, I love the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Mm-hmm.
And one time I tried to leave with a buddy. This was leave Minneapolis and go like do everything Ferris Bueller's Day Off did in the day.
Oh,
wow!
Recreate the movie, but we got stopped by our parents.
Oops.
How far did you get? But it sounds like not far.
Not even to Wisconsin.
Okay, yeah. So how did we go from a D1 mascot to senior vice president of channel sales. Like, walk us through that journey.
Okay, yeah.
Great.
So right out of college, I really wanted to try someplace new. I didn't want to. So going to the University of Kansas, growing up in Minneapolis, I didn't want to stay in the Kansas City area, and I didn't want to be in the Minneapolis area. This was also at the time of the recession, so the late 2000s. It was very hard to find a job, and there was a few openings in Dallas and New York and Chicago, and I landed on taking a position in Chicago. I majored in finance and transportation logistics, and totally outside of finance because there was no finance jobs at the time.
Sure.
So working in transportation logistics, and the best way I can describe it is my role was assisting a seller who was trying to had customers with freight that they wanted to load on to trucks, and how it was kind of a matching game of they would find backhauls, pretty much is what it's called in the industry. So like how I would describe this is a truckload of, let's say, electronics goes from Los Angeles to Minneapolis for Target. Like they dump them in Minneapolis, and then that truck needs to get back to Los Angeles, right? And they don't want to go back empty-handed with no freight or no dollars or no dollars associated with it. So we would have customers that would fill those trucks where they didn't have to pay a premium for their own truck, but they were using somebody else's on a backhaul. So like they would fill, like one of my customers had doggy doors, so we put a bunch of doggy doors on there going back there. Really cool job. Learned a ton. Learned how to cross your T's and dot your I's. You're in transportation logistics, all the trucks moving all the time. There's traffic. There's pickup hours. There's certain requirements to get into shipyards, or into distribution facilities. Is it a 53-foot van? Is it a 48-foot van? Is it a 53-foot reefer? Is it a 48-foot reefer? Do you know that ice cream is considered toxic, a toxic chemical when it's transporting? Yeah, and they have to have certain licenses and requirements. Now, this is back in the day. I don't know about today. But yeah, if you were shipping ice cream, you had to have a certain license. Now, I'm going to have to Google that after this call because I wonder if it's still true. But yeah, so a lot of moving pieces. So in that job, I really learned how, like, operational process, start to finish, and how to follow up. I didn't want to be in transportation logistics, right? It wasn't for me long term. So one of my buddies worked at an organization at the time that had an SDR team, and I joined that team, and I smiled and dialed for a year and a half, and then then kind of worked my way up, much like here, right? So I was an SDR, and then I was a partner development rep, and then I was a AE for a while, an AR for a while. And when I really got involved in channels and in the channel, I always liked the channel. I worked well with the channel. I knew how to activate the channel. But I was an AE at the time, and the organization I was working for wanted me to move to Texas and Dallas, and I didn't really want to move at that time. So I said, "What else do you have?" And I want to stay here at this organization, but I'm not moving to Texas. It's just not the right time. And they asked me to help cover a partner, which was CDW at the time, and run the CDW relationship. And we were at the right time with the CDW relationship and our champions there, and we killed it and we crushed it. And I've been in the channel ever since then. So then that was channels, and then when I started here, I was the first channel account manager with Arctic Wolf. So it was Brian Nesmith was the CEO at the time. Nick was the VP of sales. Both of them worked at organizations that were previously 100% channel, and they had the idea in mind of being a 100% channel organization. So I started as the first channel account manager, and with Nick and Brian helped build the channel program, which still is what it is today. I mean, obviously it's evolved, it's global, it has different benefits and requirements, but that it's still the same piece of paper that we started with that evolved. Sometimes you got to zig and zag too, right? And and I really thought I would be a seller the rest of my life, right? I when I first took that step into channel, I was like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna work out. I think I'm really a seller. I'm an AE. I want to be, but I mean that opened the door for so many new relationships and new opportunities and new motions and new skill sets that I um, never thought was possible.
Mhm.
So I tell many of the team members here in sales and marketing too, when like people are zigging, zag, go in the different direction because sometimes there's more opportunity, right? So
Mm.
fun
Yeah,
fact.
wisdom for the day. That's true though. If everyone's going one direction,
Yeah.
the other. Chart a different path. I love that. Well, so one of our questions too, like, you're talking about selling through the channel. For people that don't really understand what that means or are new to Arctic Wolf, or maybe they're joining or haven't been part of a company that sells strictly through a channel, tell us a little bit about what that means and how it all works.
Yeah. Yeah. So every sizable end user organization has an IT department. They have a business applications department. They have a bunch of different business units that all leverage technology to help them run their business, right? And and these IT business units, these IT directors, right? They need help. They need advisory services. They need recommendations. They need consolidation and help with picking the right vendor and the right software and the right products for their business, right? And it's really hard to, let's say, go to Apple for all of our laptops and then go to Zoom directly for our for what it was, Zoom, what it was, for meetings, right? Online meetings and stuff like that, and uh, anywhere else for different technologies. So they rely on a trusted advisor, and those are our channel partners, which are 2,000 plus strong now. Um, these partner reps have great relationships with their end users and provide them uh, to technology product and services and advice and recommendations on the products they should pick. It also gives us a very big force multiplier, right? So our sales team is roughly, uh, you know, sales is roughly 400 individuals, right? We have a partner network of 30 plus thousand people that can sell Arctic Wolf. So it's a force multiplier enabling our partner community to sell on Arctic Wolf.
Mhm.
But sometimes, so I have this old deck that I'd have to dig up from back in the day for new hire when I used to talk about channel, right, and try to really just make it as simple as possible.
Mhm.
And I say, when you need to go grocery shopping, you don't go to the paper towel store for the paper towel. You don't go to the toothpaste store for the toothpaste.
Mhm.
You don't go to the cleaning store for the Pine Sol, right? You go to Target where you can get it all at one place. You go to Cup Foods. You go to Amazon where you can go to one place.
Mhm.
That is what our end users do as well. They go to one place where they can purchase all their products and services, and they have great relationships there. They get volume commits and discounts associated with the amount they purchase through them. So yeah, that's the partner network.
So interesting. I will say, as someone, I didn't know what the channel was before I started here. Um, Obviously, I've learned throughout these last 3 years, but really also great to hear it directly from you too. And I think those analogies are really helpful. for people that have no clue what the channel is. Okay, so in your opinion, what's one thing that most companies get wrong about like building successful partner programs and selling through the channel?
Um, hmm, that's a good one. I think I'll, at the end of the day, people buy from people they like, right? So you gotta be likable, and there has to be a mutual benefit in partnership, right? There has to be, hey, here is what we offer, and the partner is like, oh yeah, we need that because we don't offer a different product, we haven't built it ourselves, and we have customers that require it. It's a little bit of product market fit, but if there's not that there, it's never going to be successful. The second piece of that, so right, like people buy from people who are like there has to be you guys got to like each other, right? The Arctic Wolf, the vendor, and the partner need to like each other, and then two, there has to be product market fit for the partner, and then three, like on our end, we need to have champions within our partners, people that go to bat for us, that win with us, that stick up with us, that continue to help us activate new partner reps, enable new partner reps, that just are champions and fans of Arctic Wolf. That's what makes a successful partnership, right? You could go into how many accounts do they have, and what is their average user size, and do they sell into this segment or that segment. Well, none of that matters if
Mm.
you don't have that connection, like that partnership piece there, like you both like each other, there's not the fit for the partner, and you don't have a champion.
Mm.
So
Totally makes sense.
profound, huh?
Yeah. Well, how do you scale the efforts? I mean, like you said, there's 400 salespeople and 2,000 channel partners, and through that 30,000 partners. So, how do you scale that likability and scale the relationship building so that you can create champions?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different like motions and programs that we have in place, right? So I think the first thing is like of those 2,000 partners, 2,000 plus partners, it's the 80-20 rule, right? So 80% of our business comes from 20% of the partners. That's roughly, let's just say 400 partners. Those are all managed by our global Arctic Wolf team, right? So we have resources assigned to those partners. So they know that they have a channel resource that wants to win with them together, that is responsible for enabling them, for responsible for demand generation, escalations, account management, right? The all aspects of that. They have a resource that is invested in them and winning together. Two, I would say like channel marketing does a really good job. So this would be Alex Stanton and the extended team there. A global channel program that has programmatic features and functions that does enablement, brand, and awareness for our program. So, for example, we have a monthly newsletter that goes out, the partner Howl, that provides all sorts of updates on what is going on with our program, new products or features that have been released, win stories, any kind of incentives. It's just a monthly newsletter of what a partner needs to know about what's going on with Arctic Wolf. Other programs include we have a partner advisory council, which is our top partners where we share and get feedback at. We have Champions Club, which is a roughly 120 to 150 members, where it is another avenue to continue enable and get feedback from. We do many things on LinkedIn in terms of brand and awareness. So yeah, there's a bunch of different avenues that we're continuing to make ourselves aware to our partners, activate our partners, and then enable our partners to win.
Do we ever have, like in your career, have you ever had to break up with partners?
Oh yeah,
And if so, like how do you how do you make that decision and just like what's that?
it's you always want to be a good breaker upper if you're if you're in the channel, because you don't know when you might have to be
Mm,
partners with them again. Like most of the partner breakups or terminations that we have are, a lot of them come from mergers and acquisitions. They acquired a company that has their own offering. That offering is very
mm,
competitive to ours. They clearly call out, hey, this worked for a while, now it's not going to work. We both know it's not going to work. Let's
mhm,
end it. And it's amicable, and we part ways, and we retain our customers and bring them to another partner. There's been a few that have been escalations, right? Whether it be account management escalations, customer related escalations with the partners, accounting escalations that we have to deal with and resolve. And then, there's some partners you just sign and you think they're going to be a good opportunity, and they just end up not being a good partner, right? And you notice that they're not acting in the way that you would expect them to act. They don't they don't and if they're not acting in a good way that you, or the way you expect them to act, you don't want to be a vendor in that portfolio, right? If they have a bad brand, or if they've had a bad name or something like that. And we've had a few of those as well. Yeah, that's not fun, breaking up with a partner, but it's the name of the game. It's part of the biz, right? Well, I'm actually breaking up with one right now. I just got off a call with one. Yeah, so I didn't think you were going to bring that up, but
Sorry, too soon after the breakup.
in Canada, Kate Flood knows about it. Yeah,
Apologies.
yeah. Um, what else? Can I ask
Okay,
you?
on the top. Oh, what are you going to ask us? I'm so curious.
I wrote down a few questions here.
Oh, for us?
Never, ever had a guest ask us
Love it.
questions.
Well, I mean, maybe just like a, what do you think? But never like prepared with questions.
Well, I was going to ask you guys, what are you guys most excited about for Arctic Wolf and our team
Ooh,
in 2026 calendar year?
2026.
Or it could be 20, like fiscal 27. Like, but what are you guys most excited about?
I'm excited for the continued global growth and just how that changes the pack for the better as we like introduce new people and culture and support all these individual cultures, but also still make us feel united as a pack.
Hmm.
There's so much. Go ahead, Charles.
Well, I was going to say that's exactly what I was going to say. So plus
Yeah.
one to marry.
Yeah, I mean, just on your guys' side, I mean, there has been a lot of growth in terms of like the global expansion, and you guys having to support that. And I don't get to see the day to day of like, spinning up different countries and entities and making sure that we're licensed correctly and all the HR related activities that go into that. But that's huge.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and so many people work on that, and our role really comes in supporting culture, engagement, onboarding,
Yeah.
making sure all these new places are excited about the howl, and how do we create connection, community, belonging, access to resources. But
Yeah. But that's a good segue because we do love to touch on culture when we have our guests here. And we usually like to focus on one of the culture tenets. So this time we wanted to ask you about own the outcome, which, as you know, is one of our culture tenets. So how do you personally live out own the outcome? And or do you have any stories of pack members you've seen successfully, like anyone on your team living out own the outcome recently?
Yeah. First of all, I love own the outcome. And I think if you are experiencing a challenge, or if you see an opportunity, like having a plan on what you want to do, in terms of like the path that you should follow and the thought process to either activate that opportunity and win with that opportunity, or if it's an escalation to resolve it. I think some with the channel team here, I think they have a lot of great ideas, and which ones do we want to hang our hat on, or which ones do we want to invest in and win with, and asking them like how they would do it and how they would think about it, and putting it on yourself as the individual. If you have an escalation or a challenge or an opportunity, like, what are you going to do to get it done, right? And a lot of times I think our team at Arctic Wolf, they have a ton of resources to help them validate that this is an escalation, this is a concern, this is an issue, this is an opportunity. And a lot of them have a great idea on how to fix it. They just want validation from their colleagues that, yes, this is true, and yes, you are thinking about this the right way, and yes, go do it, right? So I don't know if that's exactly what you're looking for, but I ask my team members all the time. I was like, okay, how do you think we should handle it? How do you think we should resolve it? What do you think about it? And 9 times out of 10, 10 times, 99% of the time, they're thinking about it the same way I would be thinking about it. I think they just want validation that this is how the rest of the team is thinking about it. So,
well, it sounds like
what you were looking for there, but that's how I kind of put it together. The second one I think is very important to sales and marketing and channel is follow up. Follow up. Fortune is in the follow up. I see so many missed opportunities by simply not following up. And that's part of owning the outcome, right? Like, I have a problem. Yeah, it's simply following up, right? Not leaving anything open, no hanging chads. I don't know if we, but yeah, like follow up. And if you follow up, you'll win most of the time. Very insightful, huh?
Oh, wait, what did you say? Forfeit is in the follow up. Is that what you said?
The fortune is in the follow up.
Fortune is in the follow up, and I guess
a partner said that to me one time. Nth generation, Dwayne Gilman. He's a fortune. His kind of mantra is fortune is in the follow up, and I even notice with myself sometimes that I forgot to follow up. Oh, I got that. This is still hanging out there, even if it's a quick email. Like, hey, just following up on this from last week. This is done. We close this out. We're good. Yep. We both have confirmation there that it's been followed up on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a lot of times in sales and in channel and you win by following up, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we wanted to talk to you about a partnership opportunity. We reached out to you 2 weeks ago. You never got back to us. Follow up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Because sometimes too, it's not that people aren't interested. And even if you're not in sales, like maybe you reached out to someone like to grab coffee for mentorship, or you're, trying to get a new opportunity. Maybe the person who emailed is just busy, but the persistence and the follow up brings it back.
Like a positive, aggressive follow up. I'll give another example too. Is like, like a family friend's son wanted an opportunity here at Arctic Wolf as an SDR, and he texted me, right? And I was traveling or something, and I forgot to text him back. Mm-hmm. And then I saw his parents 3-4 months later at a wedding, and I'm like, hey, he reached out, and I wrote him back like, hey, look, he never followed up. Was the end of the story. Like, he just didn't follow up, and you gotta follow up till you get the yes or the no, or like, we're good,
You're so right that it is about owning the outcome, because I feel like when you just put whatever you're doing, if you just put it out there and like expect someone to email you back or expect them to do their part versus like just checking in, are we good to go? Like I said, it really makes sure that there is success. So,
Mary, I have a whole follow-up process on how I manage my email box with unreads and flags. maybe you can have me on for another hour.
For a little productivity email session. We can
Okay.
do Cliff Notes. What's the Cliff Notes? I'm genuinely curious.
The Cliff Notes are I'm a big fan of flags. I
Okay.
manage everything through flags, and I go through my flags once a week to make sure everything's followed up on.
Oh, okay.
Mm,
Yeah.
That's great.
okay.
Yeah.
I was
I
just
don't
writing.
I don't do flags. I do snooze. That's my flag. I'm like, snooze
So
is
it
for
comes
next
back to
week.
you.
Comes
Yeah.
back, and I'm like, oh right, I never heard back. I should say something, or I did.
And then in Slack, I use starred if I need to get back to it. I haven't been able to figure out how to
I know
manage
Slack's
Slack effectively yet.
Yeah. Slack for me is the remind me. Like remind me about this tomorrow at 9 a.m. And then it just keeps it stays in your like reminding until you check it off.
Oh,
So then
that's
like yeah. Anyway, do you have any other like organizational tools that you use?
Um, I mean, I got some post-its over here.
okay.
Oh,
Uh, I got a I got a to-do list here. Uh,
Okay, we're a pen and paper guy.
oh yeah, I haven't. I need to probably dip into leveraging OneNote or something else.
I mean, I feel like whatever works for you.
mhm.
Okay, well, tell us here before I know we're approaching the end of the hour and we have a rapid fire that we love to end with, but we have two questions we like to always ask. One, what excites you personally about our mission to end cyber risk? What gets you out of bed every day and keeping coming back to Arctic Wolf?
Yeah, like I would say that I would say like being with the team, right? I love being with the team, seeing the team in action, meeting with the team, right? I get to see the team all the time here in Minneapolis, but then like getting out to other cities and metros in the US and seeing the team and checking in on them and making sure they're and they have everything they need, and then meeting with partners and like seeing to a partner meeting go well, and everybody's smiling and we have a joint plan together and we have action items, and it just like that's what I love doing is being with the extended Arctic Wolf team and our partner community. I think it's pretty amazing to see the amount of growth that we have had as an organization to be the leader in security operations, to have the biggest commercial SOC in the world, to have over 10,000 customers, right? Be able to pump your chest about that. And then it's, yeah, that's kind of it. It's also kind of cool to see people on the road with Arctic Wolf gear that have like, oh, I'm a customer of Arctic Wolf, or oh, I'm a partner rep. So like our brand and our awareness is getting out there, and you never really end cyber risk, right? Like you're just always marching towards that. So I really look forward to the next closing out FY26 here strong in the second half of FY26 and FY27. And we have a great, our partner NPS is at an all time high as well as our customer NPS. So we just got to keep going.
Yeah.
Mm,
Keep going, keep following up, keep zigging and zagging.
yes. We also always want to touch on well-being with our guests while you're here. And so quickly, what does well-being look like to you? What does that look like in practice? Do you like to go for walks? Do you meditate? Things
Yeah.
like that. And then how do you also support your team's well-being?
Yeah. So I think it is very important that you take time for physical well-being as well as mental well-being. We all have very busy lives, right? Not only here at the Wolf, but outside of that with our friends and our family, and there's ups and downs all the time, but taking time for yourself is important. That is one thing that I have really leaned into here the past couple of years is making sure that I'm spending adequate time with my best friends and family, and then also times for me for both physically and mentally. Now I'm more of an early guy, right? So if I can get up at 5 a.m. and get an old man walk in, um, yeah, that's what my daughter calls them. What, are you gonna go on an old man walk? Yeah, that's my goal.
You're like, yes, I am.
Yeah. So like whether in your basement, at a gym, outside, it's getting colder here in Minneapolis here, so it's mostly gym or outside. But I really, what helps me clear my mind mentally and feel well physically is probably an hour on the treadmill or walking.
Hmm.
At some point, it's mostly cardio. No, haven't hit the
Mhm.
weights yet, but yeah. But yeah, that's important. I mean, that's important, and I think I'm learning that more and more as I get older. The importance of making sure to take care of yourself, and I encourage my team to do that. I think what's awesome about Article too is we're very young culture, right? Young friends here, young families here, so we all get the importance of work life balance. Yep.
Mhm. Mhm. For sure. Okay, love. Did you take your old man walk this morning?
I did. I did.
Very
I
nice.
was I was up at 5 and I was on the treadmill by 5:30 at a 10% incline for
Oh,
3.
okay.
Oh yeah, I was sweating bullets today.
Well, I was going to say for me, sometimes walking is my meditation. Like it's really meditative, but that sounds more like you were working out, like you were fighting up the hill.
Yeah, Chelsea. It just depends. Like sometimes I'll have like no music on, no TV, and I'll just be clearing my
Hmm.
mind too.
Hmm.
It's also a good idea to think about like what you got to get done today, but from personally and professionally, right? It's like, oh, these are the 5 big things. But other times I got music blaring. Other times I got the news on. So it depends.
Nice,
What
nice.
about you, Mary? What do you do?
Gosh, I started grad school this fall and it has really whipped my routine, just like whoop, thrown it out the window because I just feel like any minute I have, I'm trying to like understand like statistics and stuff like that, write papers and such. But I am someone that loves getting a good workout in. I like to do strength training in the gym in my apartment and just put some good music on, move my body. And then I'm also a journaler. So I'm just someone that like I again haven't really out of practice with it as of late, but it just helps me process what's going on in my head and like ground myself by just taking a little bit just to write whatever's on my heart. So,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
music is a game changer for me.
Hmm.
Helps with my mood, helps me focus. So I
I,
try to even be intentional just if I'm working, just put some music on. It'll like it helps me just dial in.
yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Amazing. Okay, well, with that, we have come to the end of our hard hitting questions. And now we are getting to our fun rapid fire. We ask these same 5 questions to everyone. So just first thing that comes to your head. Okay, don't think about it too much.
I can't wait for this. All right, let's go.
Best concert of your life.
Rolling Stones.
Oh wow.
Ooh, inside, outside, set the stage.
Outside, Arrowhead 2015.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, your favorite word.
My favorite word?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Tiddlywinks.
Use it
Whoa.
in a sentence. Do you use that in your regular
Yes.
communications?
We're
Okay.
not playing tiddlywinks. We're not messing around.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, I've never heard that word before. A place on your bucket list.
Uh, I'd love to go to Thailand, both like Bangkok, Phuket, like the beach side and the city side. I think the culture and
Mhm.
the food would be awesome. Yep. Never
Yeah.
been.
What's something that people often get wrong about you?
Oh, that's um, They might think I'm athletic because I'm such a big guy, but I'm kind of not coordinated.
Oh, are you clumsy?
I'm kind of clumsy.
Okay, okay. Okay, fun. What's a recent clumsy thing you've done? Like, do you actually hurt yourself, or you more just like run into things and
Uh, I ran into like a glass wall not too long ago.
oh
Here,
my gosh,
here
like you
in the
thought the
kitchen.
door was open?
In the kitchen. I was like just leaning the other way, and it just dunk. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll bring you to the scene of the crime later.
Wow.
Not full body, just like a side of the head. Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Okay. Okay, last one. You give us a snapshot of an ordinary moment in your life that has brought you joy.
Yeah, I think in the summertime in Minnesota we live by a trail, and I really enjoy bike riding with the entire family and the kids. Most of the time, it's a 2 mile ride to Maynard's, which is a
Oh,
bar near our house. Yeah, get some lunch and cocktails, and then bike back. Yeah, my kids really enjoy biking. I enjoy biking with them. So I would say that we do a lot of that in the summer. That brings me happiness.
yeah,
Okay,
that sounds like a great summer.
seriously.
You have to come with sometime. Bring your bikes out.
Family, Briggs family bike ride.
Yeah.
To Maynard's. Okay, amazing. Well, you survived, Will. Thanks so
Yeah,
much for
this
being
was
on
so
the
fun.
podcast with us.
You had some
Thank you
really
very
great
much, and
questions here.
thanks Mary and Chelsea for doing this. And I've only seen a few of these, but I know a lot of people enjoy them, and you guys are doing a great job at them. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
for being
you.
here. It'll be great for the greater pack to get to know Will Briggs better. So thanks for coming today.
All right, you guys enjoy the rest of the day.
Okay, wow. Another great conversation with Will. He's another person that I haven't really talked with a lot, so it was great to get to know him a little
Yeah,
bit.
totally. And learn about channel sales and how all that works. I agree.
Mhm.
100%. Okay, well, it is November. So here at the PAC, we are celebrating Indigenous Heritage Month. So make sure you are in the IP Wolf Slack channel so that you can stay up to date on all of the fun things that they have planned for this month. Also, this month is Veterans Day and Remembrance Day. So I know our military support pack have a really lovely event planned and are doing their toasts in their office. Also, if you're a veteran listening, make sure you keep your eye on the on hallway Slack channel so you don't miss out on a little special treat. But otherwise, as we close out the month of November, we'll start to gear up for the holidays here next month. So be on the lookout for more holidays fun here soon.
Yes, so exciting. Always a good time here at Arctic Wolf come the holidays. Also, someone just told me yesterday, Amanda on our team, she said November 13th is World Kindness Day. So
Ooh.
I hope you can do a little spread some kindness this month. But if you're not part of the pack and want to be part of this one of a kind community and help us on our mission to end cyber risk, you can find all of our open jobs at arcticwolf.com/careers. We will talk to you in December.
Bye.
Bye.